They said a training jet could never survive a real fight against an F-16 Fighting Falcon. They said speed decides everything. They said that once the Falcon crossed into the merge, the outcome was already written. On the American side of the exercise range, confidence was absolute. This was supposed to be a basic lesson, not a contest. But below the scattered cloud line, flying quiet and light, a British Royal Air Force Hawk pilot prepared to do something the textbooks did not teach. No chase, no missile exchange, just angles and timing. Because this engagement would not be won by horsepower, but by who understood turning space better. So when a humble training jet and the world's most agile dogfighter crossed paths in daylight, which one would truly control the sky? To understand the shock of what happened, you have to look at the machines. The F-16 was the benchmark of modern maneuver fighters. It had immense thrust, fly-by-wire controls, and tactics refined through decades of war. Against that, the RAF Hawk looked like an artifact from another age. It was a single-engine training jet with straightforward aerodynamics and no radar-guided missiles. In pure numbers, it was a mismatch. But inside the RAF briefing room, the tone was different. The instructors didn't talk about winning with power. They talked about geometry. "Don't chase the Falcon," the lead instructor said calmly. "Make him overshoot." On the whiteboard, he drew 2 circles. The Falcons launched first, climbing hard into the sun. The Hawks lifted off lower and slower. They stayed below 15,000 feet, conserving energy. Then came the merge call. Bandits merging, 12 o'clock. The first Hawk pilot saw the Falcons streak across above them like meteors. Instead of pulling upward to meet the high-energy fighters, it turned Hawaii. The American pilots were momentarily confused. Instinct demanded pursuit. 2 F-16s peeled down, diving on the closest Hawk. This was the mistake the RF instructors had built their trap around. The Hawk pilot didn't evade. He tightened his turn. The jet bled speed and rolled inside the Falcon's descending attack arc. The American pilot saw the move too late. The Falcon surged past an overshoot. It was a pure energy mismatch. Before the F-16 could recover, the Hawk's gun sight snapped onto the aircraft's tail. Guns kill. Simulated hit. The RF pilot transmitted calmly. Across the exercise channels, American radios lit up. "Say again." "A Hawk got a gun solution." The Falcons immediately went offensive, climbing away. But the lesson had already been delivered. For the second engagement, the Americans corrected their error. They stayed fast and high, using boom and zoom tactics, diving down to attack and zooming back up before the Hawks could turn. The first pass roared through harmlessly, but on the next pass, one Falcon overshot slightly while pulling out of its dive. That sliver of vulnerability was all the Hawks needed. The instructor rolled sharply into the Falcon's path and executed a flat scissors maneuver. The American pilot chose aggression and tried to follow. The turning circle tightened until the training jet sat directly on the Falcon's tail. Tracking. Tone confirmed. Guns solved. Another kill. Inside the F-16 cockpits, frustration replaced confidence. "Don't turn with them," Command reminded sharply, but discipline under pressure is hard. Each time a Falcon pilot saw a Hawk turning beneath them, instinct pulled the stick. "Take taut. If I just tighten a bit more, I can get him." And each time the result was the same. The Falcon would bleed energy, and the Hawk would win the angle. By the middle of the sortie, the Hawks had scored 4 confirmed gun kills against only 1 simulated loss. The scoreboard did not flatter the Americans. The final merge wasn't planned. Both sides decided to commit everything. The F-16 formation descended, forcing a fully entangled turning fight of furball. The Hawks tightened their formation. The sky shrank to turning circles. One Falcon came screaming through too fast to lock a shot and overshot cleanly. A Hawk immediately reversed, cutting the corner. Contact in the funnel. Track in steady. Gun solution confirmed. Now, even American discipline cracked. One Falcon after another pulled into turning engagements they were explicitly trained to avoid. The Hawks fought as a system. When one Hawk was threatened, another would drop into the attacker's blind spot. It wasn't speed, it was choreography. By the time the controllers called terminate exercise, the sky quieted. Both flights climbed away. When radio chatter finally returned, it was hollow with disbelief. At the NATO evaluation table hours later, the numbers spoke calmly. RAF Hawk, 7 simulated gun kills. USAF F-16, 2 adjudicated kills. An American evaluator finally spoke. No radar advantage, no missile advantage, pure visual combat. He looked up. These RAF pilots just redefined the problem. The Hawks hadn't won because of surprise. They won because they flew the space of the fight, not the walls of its performance envelope. Geometry over power. Patience over aggression. As the American flight lead admitted, in the vertical, we dominate. But the minute we accept your turning space, we become students again. The legend of the Little Hawk spread quietly across air bases. It wasn't the fastest jet, nor the most advanced, but it proved that speed is a gift, while geometry is a weapon. What shocked NATO wasn't the scoreboard. It was the realization that even the most dominant fighter becomes ordinary if flown into the wrong space. Technology sets the ceiling, but discipline decides the fight. If you enjoyed this story of hidden valor, make sure to hit that subscribe button and like the video. We bring you the untold stories of aviation history every week. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.